Right now, Pike County has more than $1 million from a national opioid settlement. How officials plan to invest that money. Plus, religious freedom taking center stage in Frankfort. What supporters and opponents say about the religious liberty bill.
Plus, our next rain chance returns by tomorrow, timing out those showers as Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Mountain News First at 4 continues.
Pike County officials are discussing the best ways to invest the county's share of the national opioid settlement. WYMT's Buddy Forbes has more about the plans.
During this week's meeting of the Pike County Fiscal Court, plans were being made for the allocation of funds to support the county's drug abatement efforts. Pike County Judge Executive Ray Jones suggested reconvening the county's Abatement Settlement Advisory Committee to decide the best way to fund efforts to clean up the county. With more than $1.2 million currently in the account for the county's allotted settlement funds, which the Kentucky Association of Counties estimates is only part of a $4.3 million allocation that will trickle in during the next 14 years, Jones says he wants to make sure the county works together to invest wisely.
You can spend it on prevention, education, but we need to figure out, I don't want to just throw it out there for 50 different things where it don't make a difference. I think we need to figure out a couple different things where it's going to make the most impact.
The county's advisory committee was originally created after that first settlement allocation was awarded. Now Jones says they need to reconvene and put some plans in place. In Pike County, Buddy Forbes, WYMT Mountain News.
And that committee includes the sheriff, the jailer, a representative from KSP, folks from some of the treatment facilities, and other legally minded officials. We'll have more about Pike County's plans coming up at 6. Kentucky lawmakers debated religious freedom at the state capitol today. Supporters say a bill is needed to boost laws already in place. Protesters say if it passes, discrimination will increase. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on the debate.
The House Judiciary Committee was very crowded today as House Bill 47 was brought up for discussion and then a vote. The sponsor is Representative Stephen Rawlings from Northern Kentucky, who says people simply need to be able to practice their religious beliefs without the government getting in the way.
And ensure that Kentuckians are free to live and work according to their faith without fear of being unjustly punished by their government.
Rawlings says the bill is needed to remove the burden of government on people being able to actively express their beliefs. It states that the sincerely held beliefs may not be burdened unless the government proves by clear and convincing evidence that it has a compelling governmental interest in infringing that specific act. The committee room was full Wednesday, and Chris Hartman with the Fairness Campaign says there were at least 100 people there against it. He says he's not against religious freedom, but says it will lead to discrimination and attacks on fairness ordinances already in place.
24 communities all across our Commonwealth that have stood up to protect LGBTQ people, and you're putting every one of them at risk if you pass House Bill 47.
The bill did pass in committee 14-6, but even some of those who voted for it say there needs to be some language in the bill cleaned up before they will vote for it on the full House floor. In Frankfort, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
Phil, thank you. And that bill now goes to the full House.
Well, be sure to enjoy the sunny weather on this Wednesday because we are watching out for that next rainmaker as we go into your Thursday. Let's take a live look from the WYMT studios as we stay dry under some more sunny weather and check out that current temperature up to 63 degrees right now in Perry County. So we are well above average for the end of February, up to 66 in Irvine, 66 also in Somerset, and 64 over in London at this hour. We should be close to 50. So like we talked about, this warming trend would continue into your Wednesday. Most of us about 5 to even 7 or 8 degrees warmer on Wednesday compared to your Tuesday. We get a little bit warmer tomorrow, but then a little bit cooler as we go into your Friday. Also to start the weekend up on the radar where you're dry, but those clouds will continue to increase as we go into tonight as those rain chances also increase by your Thursday. The better chance for rain will be for the second half of your Thursday, and we stay unsettled at times into the weekend, also into next week. More details on those rain chances, plus a cooler weekend coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
Cameron, thank you. President Biden has announced he is forgiving more than $1 billion in student loan debt for more than 150,000 borrowers. Today, the president approved student debt cancellation for people who have been repaying their loans as little as 10 years and took out $12,000 or less. The action President Biden is taking is through his Saving on a Valuable Education or SAVE repayment plan. One top economic advisor says while education is the key to a better future, the costs and associated debt are getting out of control.
We had been planning on doing this, later in the summer, but we were able to begin the process earlier. And so the president said, we should move it up as part of his directive to us and really his mandate to us to do as much as we can for as many people as we can.
Borrowers can sign up for the SAVE plan at studentaid.gov. The Biden administration is trying to address vulnerabilities at U.S. maritime ports that could be exploited by hackers. The president is issuing an executive order that requires U.S. ships and ports to report cyber attacks. It also gives the Coast Guard greater authority to inspect or control ships that present a possible threat. The order imposes new cybersecurity requirements on more than 200 Chinese-made cranes at U.S. facilities. The cranes can be controlled remotely, meaning hackers can access the network and collect intelligence. It's only February, but the official 2024 White House Christmas ornament is here. The ornament, crafted in the shape of an anchor, honors former President Jimmy Carter and his service in the Navy. It features a globe and two doves, symbolizing Carter's peacemaking efforts in office and as a private citizen. Carter, who is 99 years old, has been in hospice care now since last February. He's the first former president to see an ornament release in his lifetime.
We were so honored to be able to send one of the very first ornaments off of production down to the Carter family, and so that the President Carter could see it. Certainly in the aftermath of Mrs. Carter's passing recently and the difficult health challenges that President Carter is facing, we hope that this brings a little bit of positive spirit to the family.
There's been an official White House Christmas ornament every year since 1981. New research shows home ownership became more attainable for many Americans during the last decade, especially people of color. Data from the National Association of Realtors shows the number of Asian, Black, and Hispanic Americans owning a home increased from 2012 to 2022. Despite those gains, the Black home ownership rate is still lagging behind other racial groups. Experts say student loan debt, high rent costs, and housing affordability are among the barriers to home ownership for minorities.
We need more housing inventory, absolutely. But I think what's really important to note too is that when we have generational transfers of wealth from current homeowners into perhaps junior purchasing their first home, that is really a strong method to help propel homeownership for future generations.
Among Black home buyers, women and millennials are the fastest growing groups. Experts say for help affording a down payment, first-time buyers should explore their eligibility for programs like FHA and VA loans. Coming up on First at 4, when it comes to spring break travel, you expect flights to beach destinations to be crowded. But there's a different trend happening this year.
Plus, we stay mild for now, but a cooler start to the weekend is on the way. Those details after this break.